before.
Yeah, in Hollywood, yeah.
And let me say this. Personally, there's a certain black singer of international note who lives here. He owes me $5,000 cash. He ripped it off and coked it up.
So I'm gonna pause this interview, man. Good morning, man. It's your boy Pooh Black. And we're gonna go at it a different route, man. We're finna get to the mines now. Judge Joe Brown gonna speak on Barry Gordy, gonna speak on Young Dolph. Judge Joe Brown give valuable information. If a lot of people understand where he come from and how he break it down, y'all understand what's going on. Tune in.
And the last 2 times I've encountered him have been out at the Memphis airport. He literally turned around and ran. Now, if I was the wrong kind of person, which I'm not, no telling what would happen to him. A lot of people would say $5K is worth taking somebody out on principle. But to me, it's not. I made that in about 10 minutes worth of work the last job I had. 10 minutes is not worth going to prison, or not worth taking somebody's life, but for some people it is. I don't know. But the other thing is you live in Memphis, Tennessee, and if you're eligible to purchase a firearm in Tennessee, you can carry it without a permit. So I always wonder about people who are in the public eye and they go around and they're not armed, or you don't have a security crew, or even just riding with somebody, with one of your partners. He's not your bodyguard, but you each watch each other's six. So
well, you know, Judge, like the streets been talking, and there's a lot of stuff on social media, but they say he did have a gun on him. And, it was his time.
Well, yeah, but then that gets to the other thing. You mean you a grown man in your 30s and you haven't taught yourself situational awareness? No, where your radar keeps going. You check your six all the time. You don't turn your back on a plate glass window in a public place.
Well, also there's a footage of a guy that supposed to be, I guess, a friend firing back at the guys at the Mercedes.
That may have happened.
What was he doing? I'm trying to figure out.
May have happened, and it's been suppressed. See, on a homicide case, there are a whole lot of people that don't get brought in because the detectives say, oh, he's not a bad guy. No point in putting him through all this hell. And Memphis, by the way, has one of the best homicide squads in the whole of the United States. That's why they brought that series here, 48 Hours, to Memphis, because this homicide squad, there are a lot of black folk that have street experience and a connection to this community, and they can get out in it and get information. Several times the FBI has just screwed something up. Like one time they got a whole bunch of confiscated guns they had in an unsecured van, got stolen. They brought in Memphis detectives and they got all the guns back in 48 hours. That's because they can get into it. And I know some of them. And they grew up in the hood.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been past 48 hours now, I would say, just about.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, sometimes, let me tell you this. Most of the time, homicide cases are unsolvable unless the alleged offender, is known to be acquainted with the alleged victim. Otherwise, somebody ran a big mouth off. He was trying to impress some junkie babe who turned him in because she didn't want to do some time on a drug case. I had 4 or 5 really dumb fools in my courtroom. They pulled off a drive-by, shot and killed 3 people and wounded 4 others, and this has been 25, 26 years ago. You know how they got caught? They Xeroxed the articles in the commercial appeal and signed them and were passing them out. Yeah, man, check out what we did.
Mm-hmm. The problem with this case, Judge, I'm going to be honest, my people from there, sometimes I go there about once or twice by Airways and catch them. Because my folks live in Bunker Hill.
I know where the place is.
Yeah, but I'm saying, just for the people out there, And what I'm saying was weird about the whole thing is that you got the police precinct right across down the street, you got cameras everywhere. I think he was some outside hitters. These ain't no neighborhood people. These are outsiders.
Yeah,
they came in here and did their thing.
And by the
These
way,
some outside hitters.
they kept talking about his Lamborghini in the parking lot.
What was that, Judge? Tell me what it is exactly.
Corvette, but what it is it's a camouflage Camaro.
Okay. See, I know I can't trust the news. I don't know what the bank is.
They get the information so wrong so often. I'm sure he's a fine young man. I never knew him. I didn't.
Well, I'm a fan of his music. You know what? I tell you how I became a fan. I don't agree with everything, but I remember about 7 years ago, I was going to Ferguson and Baltimore. And they'll ask me where I'm from. I said, I'm from Memphis. And, man, we love Young Dolph, man. You know, I said, Dolphin? No, Young Dolph, man. Like Freddie Gray friends would tell me, man, we love Memphis cats, man. We love Yo Gotti. We love y'all Memphis guys. See, Memphis is interesting because people in Memphis don't understand how powerful brand Memphis is everywhere else.
No, they
don't. When I go to a place like Los Angeles or New York, I tell people I'm from Memphis because there's people from Memphis connected that's doing amazing things in these so-called communities.
That's why I let them talk me into running for mayor in 2023. This town needs to be actualized, motivated, and activated. There is no reason why black folks should not have a jewel in America known as Memphis. It's right where the main waterway crosses the main highway.
Like you said,
everything goes through here.
Yeah.
And these jackasses that we put in, these shysters that don't know what it is to represent a constituency, they're crooks, most of them, not all of them. Some of them are decent and honest. But we don't get representation, and the money goes to somebody that just keeps getting it. And the game is zoning variances from city council or county commission, appropriation of the tax dollars to buy the material, buy the land, and pay for it being constructed. And then this group being able to operate it and return 4 to 6% of their net profit to the city or the county. And you see, smart accountants zero that out, so there's no net profit to get a percentage of. So we just pay them for it, and it's like they get richer and richer. And meanwhile, some people down there, they get their egos stroked and they get a little pocket change from doing what they do. And it's bad. And see, we need to man up. I know how it works. The other thing is your mayor can't walk down in the majority of the places he represents without the police escorting. Otherwise, somebody's liable to take him out.
Actually, Judge, you're a public figure and you're a guy that's well respected in our community, in our neighborhoods. Young Dolph was well respected where he was from. He was giving back a lot to the community.
Yeah, I know. So, but you say,
what you saying? Like people say he shouldn't have been in the neighborhood.
In other words,
what were you saying about that?
He tried to kill me before. That was even one thing when I had that James Earl Ray case. There were 5 clowns with some heavy equipment tried to break in the house. We had a shootout. About 30-some shots got exchanged. Half of somebody's ear was on my windowsill in the morning when Director Renfrey and another detective came by, and we did a quiet investigation. Somebody had turned the tapes off, about dispatcher's recording devices off, about 35, 40 minutes before this went down, and about the same after. There were no hospital reports or anything like that. And there were heavy blood trails front and back from the 5 that were involved. I mean, but you see, if you put yourself in the public eye, you cannot model yourself on Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all of these nonviolent types who got killed and taken out. You got to be prepared to take somebody to Valhalla or send somebody to Valhalla. Maybe they'll get you, but at least make it costly. And watch what's going on around you.
Well, like with the thing with the Young Dolph thing, I would say this. is that like them last two instances where he was shot at, it was like allegedly people from a rival artist camp, like Yo Gotti's camp, was connected to that. Like the 100 shots at his SUV that was bulletproof in Charlotte. The van that allegedly did a drive-by was registered in the name of the rapper known as Black Youngster, but he said that his identity was compromised. And then in Hollywood, when he was shot 3 times, and I don't see how he survived that. That was point blank range, getting shot 3 times. It was some guys allegedly connected to Yo Gotti.
You're trying to take somebody out. You don't just shoot them once, twice, 3 times. This is not a movie.
Right.
Most of the homicides that I've had where I had 42 first-degree murder cases I tried as a defense lawyer where they demanded a death penalty, and there were a bunch more where they just wanted life. And I don't know how many I presided over. Typically, one person has killed the other, but he doesn't know it because there's no reaction. You shoot somebody, they don't go, oh, like they do in the movies. They just stand there, keep shooting back. They're already fatally injured. Real professionals, if they're doing something, they'll say, hey, man, check me. See anything? No, man, you're clean. In other words, a lot of times, some of these people have been shot multiple occasions, and they know that in the heat of things, they often don't feel that they got hit, didn't feel it when they got